Hello and welcome to another one of these ADD videos. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of hypothesis testing example. In the first example, if you remember, Duracell and Energizer tested 100 of my batteries that were supposed to last 500 hours long, but they found that there was enough evidence to say I was full of crap. So what I did is I commissioned a study to test 256 of my batteries, and I found their mean time to be 595 or 500.95 hours, and we wanted to know if our claim of 500 hours was on the conservative end. In other words, do they last more than 500 hours? So if we were to calculate a z-score from this data, we would get, let's go ahead and write the main formula. So we'd have 500.95 minus 500 over sigma, which was 5, divided by the square root of 256. And when you do that, you're going to get, let's see, 0.95 divided by 5 divided by 16, which I believe is 10.4. 3.04 units. So that's your z-score. Alright, so if we're still using the alpha or significance level of 0.05, which is pretty stringent, which means it's pretty strict, right? Somebody just commented on a Facebook post, apparently. Sorry about that interruption. So what we are doing here, if we're doing z-scores, I'll do it both ways, I'll be nice. In this case, again, I forgot to do my claims. The first thing you should do is make your claim. So H naught is that mu still equals 500, right? And then H1 is that mu is greater than 500. I said my batteries last longer than 500 hours. Remember, the 500 hours was a conservative estimate. So when we're looking at this, we know now, because our research hypothesis or alternative hypothesis is greater than, we know our rejection region is the top 5%. Okay, so if I'm doing a z-score basis of rejection, what I need to do is convert this alpha into a z-score. So I have a z-score pulled up, luckily, or not luckily, I'm prepared, and I come over here to what do I need? I need 0.05 on the top end of the graph. And what we're doing is we're looking for p-values. So if I have, let me go back to my graph here, if this is 0.05 right there, that means that this is 0.95. Alright, so if that's 0.95, I need to look for that on my z-score table. 950 should be 1.64, which is this number right here, the last highlighted number. So that's 1.6, and it's the gray one in between those two blue ones, and indeed it's 1.64. So if I'm doing a z-score comparison, my cutoff z-score is 1.64. Anything greater than 1.64 is going to give me a rejection of my null in favor of the research. So in this case, I got a z-score of 3.04, which is indeed above 1.64. So you would say z-calc is 3.04, which is greater than z alpha, so therefore reject null in favor of research. Now that's a generic answer. What you would say in terms of this problem is you would say Duracell and Energizer are full of crap. No. You would say that there is enough evidence to support that the batteries last more than 500 hours at alpha of 0.05, okay, which is about as strict. You can do a 1% significance level. If it was 1% alpha level, let's just see what that would mean. So our cutoff z-score at 1% would be 0.990 is what we look at. And 990 is 2.3. Looks like roughly. So even at a 0.01 level, this thing is rejected, right? So at a 0.01 level, I was at, if we're doing 0.01, alpha of 0.01, which the problem didn't ask. I'm just showing you that even at such a even stricter significance level, we still reject because our z-score is 2.34 at that level. And what we calculated was what? 3.04, which is still greater than, still falls in that rejection region. Okay, and I told you I'd be nice and I'd do it both ways and show you the p-value way as well. So if we're doing a p-value way, what we do is we convert our calculated z-score to a p-value and see if we are in this rejection region. Now, let me do a different color for the rejection region. Big eraser. That looks sloppy. Let's make it green. Oh, all of it's green. Okay, well then I'll just make my rejection region red if that happens. Alright, so there's the rejection region. Our p-value for the rejection region, I'm going to go back to that alpha of 0.05. Is going to mean that this is 0.95, everything to the left of it, meaning we have 0.05 over here. And if we look up our z-score of 3.04 that we calculated, there's 3.0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 0.998. So when we look at our our proportion associated with that z-score, we found that p was 0.998 something, right? 998. I guess it was. So what that tells me is that since I was doing one tail high and it was 0.05 high, that means that 0.95 is below, so that means that I have my calculated 3.04 has a p-value of 0.9988, so yes, that falls in the rejection region. That's one way to look at it. Some other books, what they'll do is they'll do 1 minus the 0.9988, and when you do that, you get 1.2 times 10, so 0.012, and then they compare that to the alpha level of 0.05, which is less than 0.05, So either way, we're rejecting the null. However you want to look at it. I prefer the z-scores. Is probably just the easiest way to go ahead and right off the bat figure out what your z-score is for your rejection region, calculate a z-score using your formula, and then decide to reject it or not. Okay, so make sure you check out part 3 of this video saying we go to court. I take on Duracell and Energizer. I guess I should be using fake companies just in case they want to sue me. But this is all hypothetical, and I don't think it's ever going to get down to that. So practice, practice, practice. Thank you, and have a nice day.